Boundary gates. What is it? How does it work? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, what is boundary gate? I'm going to explain to you what it is, how it is, what it works, what and how. Obviously, I have used none of the leaks. I have done a mock-up. I've changed the wording specifically and deliberately because, well, I don't want to be nuked by ZeniMax and Bethesda games use the same excuse that all the YouTubers are giving it. Well, I mean, obviously. So, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, there are videos out there that explain this, but sometimes it seems to me they don't explain it properly, or they leave out a specific part of that explanation, which doesn't give you the full answer. So today I'm going to tell you what's happening with Starfield. What is this boundary gate? What is happening? Okay. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so I have mocked up this very simplistic thing that we've got going on here in GIMP. Alright, everybody knows what the GIMP is. So we got this and we got this. First we're going to start out with the wall reached. Okay, it's actually, it's like I said, I've changed all the wording. It's all different. It's not identically the same, not 100%. I mean, as you can see, the buttons, yeah, haha, ha ha ha, it's a little joke, but anyways, wall reached, open the map to explore other zones or go back to your ship, return to your ship, open the map or exit, right? So you get like 3 options with the pop-up. Open the map being a very specific one I want to talk about, and open the map to explore other zones or go back to your ship, okay? This is also a very important message, and it is the message that pops up all the time. So this is the message that pops up when you walk around 30. There is a video going around. It's like 10 minutes, but it's sped up. Around 20 to 30, maybe 40 minutes. If you walk in one direction on a planet, okay, from when you land your ship, right? You land your ship, right, and you walk directly from your ship just in one direction, you will eventually bonk the wall, right? And funny enough, back when they showed off Starfield, I kind of thought that this was going to be the thing, right? And I've been waiting for Starfield for 5 years, man. Ever since that video, everybody knows what the video I'm talking about with the star station. I think it's what it's Star Station, yeah. And then it goes, you know, the whole little graphics and stuff. It looked cool. It was really short, and you know, a lot of speculation. But anyways, a lot of time waiting for this game. So back then, I already thought that there was going to be some sort of bonk, some sort of wall. I mean, it's been in Skyrim, it's been in Fallout 4, it's been in Fallout 3, it's been in all the games. There's always been a wall that you could, you know, you bonk, and it kind of tells you to turn around, or, you know, you can't go that way. But it's different in Starfield, because Starfield is humongous, planetary, all right, galactic, actually. You know, we're talking 1,000 planets. 100 of them have life and all sorts of goodies on them. The rest are probably sort of barren and stuff. We've got some handcrafted planets as well, cities and all sorts of stuff. It's a Bethesda game, all right? It is an RPG at its core, but they're going for the whole space thing. So obviously, because it's a Bethesda game, because of the creation engine, there's a limit, right? There is a limit to this. There's a limit to what they can do with it, right? So the wall reached is the limit. So basically what they do is they make chunks, tiles, right? Chunks and tiles. Let's go over to the next one. Tiles and chunks, and how do they work? Okay, we're not going to go through how do they work just yet. So again, this is the message that pops up. Wall reached, open the map, explore other zones, or go back to your ship, right? There's 2 options. So for people, like, especially myself, like, obviously, it's immersion breaking to walk 40 minutes in one direction and get this message that pops up. And basically tells you to do either of 2 things or exit, basically. So you got 3 options, but the 2 actually matter. So basically, open map essentially means you're gonna load in the next chunk or tile or zone. So whether it's the one that you are walking towards, or I don't, that general direction, I'm sure that's how it's gonna work. So essentially, you're gonna load the next chunk. So for people that want to walk around an entire planet, you can essentially do so, but what I have heard on Reddit, unfortunately, is that each tile or chunk is not cohesive. So if you're walking in one direction and you look and you see a mountain and you bonk the wall, but you got to go to the next zone, so you just open the map to load the next zone, that mountain may not be there. I'm not too certain on that, so like I'm not gonna like, don't quote me on that at all. Like I'm not 100% certain that that's even gonna be a thing. But that has been going around the Reddit. What I do know, however, that is more concrete and more evident is that when you open your map, when you've been given this message, you can literally basically travel anywhere. You can quick travel anywhere, fast travel, quick travel, however you want to say it, however anyone says it these days. But anywhere on the planet and anywhere in that solar system, so you can go to other planets and quick travel to those planets without your ship. So that's what and that is from a far more credible source, I would say. Again, the 31st, these guys' reviews are going to come out, and all this stuff is going to come out. But I want to explain to you guys what this all means, right? So for you guys who want to walk around an entire planet, including myself, I kind of wanted to do that, be that Mark Watney, getting, lost on Mars kind of thing, maybe doing a little bit of role play, making it fun. I mean, I don't know, like it kind of sounded cool in my mind, but you kind of still can do that. The whole cohesiveness, whether the chunks that line up together, are they going to be, and we can actually go over to the next little page here, are these two chunks going to be cohesive or not? So if you see, we're going to change the color over here to like a brown. If you see like a mountain, say for example, there, right? But you are over here. So you land your ship, you land over here, and you decide to walk for 40 to 30 minutes in this direction, and bonk, you get the message. The message pops up over here. This message right here, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I have changed the wording, so do remember it's slightly different. Obviously, these buttons and the symbols are different. It is Xbox. It was a joke. It is only joke. PlayStation fans, relax. It's only joke. It's just joke. So anyways, you bonk the wall, right? Is the next tile or chunk gonna be cohesive? I don't know. Is this mountain, when you go over and load over to this next chunk, is this mountain gonna be here? Who knows? Alright, at this point, it's like a 50-50 thing. Who knows? But, ladies and gentlemen, you can load the next chunk and continue to load the next chunk and the next chunk and the next chunk and the next chunk. And I do believe that all these chunks from Todd Howard himself, he has said it himself, he wrapped them around the planet, and I'm gonna play that clip right now.
How are we gonna render a planet, like pull it off for the player? Like, can we? Or do we have to sort of do it where you can't land on all of them, where you're landing in a very controlled, small world space that we, kind of craft, and you would have a very limited set of those. Mm-hmm. If you go back to tone, like, well, that's probably the wrong tone. And how can we say yes? Like, I want to land on that ice ball. So we started the game right after Fallout 4, so 2016. And the first thing we did was, how can we have a system to generate these planets and make them look, I'll say reasonable, as opposed to, fractally goop.
What's the technical definition of goop? Fractally goop.
Fractally goop. You've probably seen a lot of like simulations, whether they're space things or landscape things, where they're using fractals and just the landscape does not look real. It just is like highs and lows, and it's muddy. And so we did find a way. We came up with a way, had prototyped of building tiles, like large tiles of landscape, the way we would usually build them. We kind of generate them offline, hand do some things, and end up with these very realistic looking tiles of landscape, and then built a system that wraps those around a planet and blends them all together. And we had pretty successful results with that. And so we thought, we could do this. And so there was a big design kind of problem to solve in terms of, well, what's fun about landing on a planet where there's potentially nothing? Because there's a lot of planets and moons, if you kind of, right, in reality, that, well, there's nothing on them except resources. And so we spent a lot of time figuring out, okay, let's just lean in on that can be a lonely experience, as long as we tell the player, here's what's there, here are the resources that are there, go find them. But I equate it to that moment we said about listening to the wind go and watching the sunset. And I do think there's a certain beauty to landing on a strange planet, being somewhat the only person there, building an outpost, And we are modeling all of the systems because that's how we like to do things. So you can watch whatever that gas giant or moon, it will rotate and go and sunrise, sunset, and all of those things that you would expect. And it's all really happening. And most people probably won't notice or appreciate all of that, but I think it gives them the ability to say, I want to go do that and see that on that place, as long as we tell them, hey, the quest leads over here. Here's where the handcrafted content is that you would expect. And then here's more of the open procedural planet experience.
So with that said, guys, why is it chunks? Why have they decided to do this? And with that explanation from Todd, the man himself, man. 16 times the chunks, baby. Alright, the reason they've done it in chunks is because Bethesda Games is known for one thing, and we know this, guys. They're detailed everywhere you walk. For like, you could be walking for like 2 minutes and you're gonna find something to do, whether it's a dungeon, whether it's like a place to raid or whatever. You're gonna find something along the way. It's a Bethesda Games thing. It's just, it is what it is, right? And due to the limitations of the creation engine, and because he wants to, they want to, for lack of better words, they want to give you the whole entire planet experience, alright? They've done it in a way where they can give you the high amounts of detail. They can give you the entire planet. You can traverse the entire planet. Alright, I'm pretty sure there's some limitations when it comes to like the actual planets with big cities and stuff like that. I'm sure there's some things that you're not going to be able to do. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to get the detail. You're going to get the whole planet. The difference is each chunk is a loading screen. Alright, it's a pop-up message. It's you choosing the next chunk or zone or tile or whatever the hell the game is going to call it. But Todd seems to call it a tile. Sometimes it's called a chunk. It's the same thing. Alright. But fret not, ladies and gentlemen, for you will be able to walk around your planet or moon if you so desire. No Man's Sky is pretty boring. I don't know if anybody's played that game. I love the developers and what they've done for No Man's Sky. I give them props where the props is deserved. But it is a boring game still. If you're going to go walking around a planet aimlessly in No Man's Sky, it's pretty boring if you don't have an objective. And Bethesda Game Studios is known for, well, two things. Lots of detail and things to do, and bugs. So there's going to be bugs in this game, that's for sure. But I hope this explains to you how it works and just giving you sort of the answer. I do have outside sources from Reddit. Like I said, some I trust, some I don't, obviously. And until the 31st, we won't know. But I'll be streaming it on the 1st on Friday, probably because just of how the time zone works. But ladies and gentlemen, until then, we're just gonna have to, just trust what the people are saying on Reddit, and we're gonna have to trust Todd the Man Howard. All right. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed the video, you know what you gotta do. Gotta hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, consider subscribing. We're going to be playing Starfield in 4 days, boys. 4 days. Let's go.